Alright, let's crank that up. Hello! I'm truly always shocked how well a story can work to convince me to do something I had no intention of doing. Zero. Literally no intention of. And then I hear a compelling story and I'm fully in. For example, a few weeks ago, I just started working with this new trainer. I don't know about you, anytime I'm working with someone new, that first session, I'm a little bit critical. You know, because so many people are just kind of floating through life. So it's like, are you the real deal? Can you really help me? Based on this experience, are we gonna continue working together? And sometimes that's a first session, but can also be a first touch point or experience with a webinar or a course or something like that. So the woman I'm working with, this trainer, she is insanely good at telling stories. Not only is she good at telling stories, she's really good at knowing which stories to tell. I went in with the intention to only buy one session with her, and I left asking her if I could buy 5 more, truly. And she did not sell me once in that whole first session. And she told me stories that helped me see just how qualified she was, all of the clients she had worked with, and not just random clients just like me, with the problem I came in there to get her help on. My hamstrings don't work. She also told me stories that gave me a lot of confidence that she could fix my problem, and relatively quickly. At no point in our first session did she explicitly say, "You can trust me, I'm the real deal. I can get your hamstrings to work when you go upstairs." Instead, she told me stories that clearly illustrated she is the best person for me. By the end of this session, of working with her and of her telling strategic stories, I was eager to sign up. As entrepreneurs, we're always facing the issue of getting our ideal customers to like us, to trust us, to feel confident that we can actually help. But the struggle is, if we come right out and say that directly, that's when we come off as salesy, or that's when we feel inauthentic. But if you use stories to illustrate the truth, that you are the real deal, that you are the best option for your ideal customer, that's when you can really move people. In this video, I'm gonna break down the 6 reasons why I believe storytelling is a skill you have to learn in 2024 as an entrepreneur. And I'm so confident in these 6 reasons that if I can't convince you to use stories in your marketing, I will give you my dog. You see this beast? You see this? You see this beast, this monster? She's yours. If I haven't convinced you fully, 100% yes, I want a full body yes, that you should use stories in your marketing, this beast, she's yours, okay? But she's not gonna be yours. You know why? Because you're gonna be convinced. Okay, let's get into the 6 reasons. All right, go, get out of here. Reason number 1, people don't need more information to buy. They need an emotional reason to buy. If you can tell a great story, one that moves and inspires and motivates your audience, you can convert them. A few years ago, when I was first learning about copywriting, I was coming from a different industry and I was feeling a little overwhelmed by just how much there was to learn. So I was like, all right, let's make life easier on myself. I will take a copywriting course. And when I do anything, I do it thoroughly. So before deciding which course to buy, I did my research. There are like a trillion copywriting courses on the internet. So I found the ones I thought were the best, and I read the heck out of all of their sales pages. I studied how many modules were in each course. Were there worksheets? Was there a money-back guarantee? I had all the information. But for me, I still wasn't sure which course was the best course, the most legit course, the one that would actually help me achieve my goal. That is, until I read a case study. And the case study was basic. It was focused on a woman who reminded me of me. She was just getting started in copywriting. She was feeling a little overwhelmed. We were in a similar situation with similar struggles, similar fears, and we had a similar goal, okay? Now, in this case study, obviously the woman took the leap. She bought this course, and guess what? Within a couple months of taking the course, she was living my dream. Everything worked out for her. She loved copywriting. She got great at it. She was finding a lot of success, all because she bought this course. Is this case study what convinced me to buy the course? Yes. Literally, yes. Up to this point, I really wasn't sure. I read a compelling story that reflected someone who reminded me of me, achieve a thing that I wanted to achieve. And the emotion that comes with that, that's what got me to buy. Okay? It's not all the features and the benefits, which, of course matter, but on their own, people don't need more information. They'll need an emotional reason. So after you share with them the features of your business or product or service, and you make the benefits clear, that's when we want to lean into the emotion. And one easy way to do that is through storytelling. Reason number 2, unfortunately, you're not the only person offering your product or service. We all know that the market is more crowded than ever before, which essentially means in order to succeed, part of your job is learning to stand out and make it easy for customers to choose you over the competition. And stories do that really well. A few months ago, I was helping my mom look for a personal trainer, and fate would have it that there is a gym around the corner from her house. So I said, okay, perfect, this will be easy. You go online, look at the trainers, and you find the best one for you. The problem was this gym had a long list of trainers. There was like 14 trainers on there, and all of their bios were more or less identical. They were all very qualified. They had a background in sports, 10 years of experience. Their pricing was similar. So in terms of their features, there wasn't really a reason to pick one person over the other. And to make matters worse, my mom felt like she wasn't their ideal client because she's not athletic, okay? And that's an understatement. She's also in her late 60s and she has arthritis, you know what I mean? So her internal dialogue when she's looking at these very sporty trainers, she doesn't know if any of them can actually help her. Here's how telling a great story can help you stand out and how it can help your ideal customers see that you're perfect for them. Imagine if one of those trainers chose to tell a story in their bio instead of doing what everybody else did and just listed their credentials. Imagine if one of those trainers, they used to be unathletic or overweight, or they were afraid of the gym, or maybe they had arthritis, or maybe they've worked with countless clients who fit those descriptions. What if they used a story to help my mom see that they understood her, that they related to her, and that they could help her? Literally, if any of those physical trainers told a story like that, even close to that, my mom's choice would have gone from completely overwhelming to very obvious. I think stories are awesome because while you're sharing yourself, you're also building trust and connection, and you're making it really easy for your ideal customers to believe you can actually help them because it's being illustrated in the story you're telling. Reason number 3, no one remembers you. Now, I'm gonna share something vulnerable, okay? When I was in college, I was an RA, and I should say I was a very cool RA. When you become an RA, you've got to attend a 2-week training to learn to RA. So I'm at this training, I'm with my peers, and I don't really know anyone, so I'm going around the room introducing myself. I introduced myself to a few people, and then I introduced myself to this one girl, and she was kind of like pissed when I introduced myself. And then she said, "We've already met." And I said, "Really?" And she said, "Yeah, we've met like 3 times. Now, that's hard to have someone say that to your face, and you have no memory of the person, 0 memory. And I did, inquire, and it was confirmed that I was sober when we met. Okay, these weren't drunken college parties. This was in class or around campus. I had to reflect on this as a potential personal flaw of mine. And I came to a conclusion that I don't think this girl's gonna like. When you're in college, everything is new. And when everything is new, or when there's a lot of stimuli, it's hard to get attention and it's hard to be remembered. In my opinion, if you want someone to remember you, you have to be memorable. Now, that might sound harsh on a personal level. However, on a business level, it's just true, okay? Our attention is constantly being pulled in a billion different directions, from mindless scrolling to countless ads to inboxes that are never empty. Everything that's happening on a screen really feels like it's blending together in our memory. So unless you can find a great, emotional, entertaining way to stand out, you can't really expect anyone to remember you. But the good news is a really good story activates dopamine in our brain. And dopamine does so many things. It helps us remember things. It keeps us interested. It keeps us engaged and eager to learn more. If you're having trouble standing out, or if you're not sure how to do it in an authentic way, telling a great story might be the answer. And I do want to apologize to the girl whose name I forgot 3 times. Thank you. Thank you for your understanding. Thank you so much. Reason number 4, value alone is no longer valuable. Everyone and their mom is talking about value. You gotta provide free value, okay? No fluff, all about the value. But I don't think providing value is the great marketing strategy it once was. I subscribe to a lot of newsletters, okay? I'm easy with newsletters. If you buy me dinner first, yes, I'll subscribe to your newsletter. As a result, I receive a ton of newsletters in my inbox each week, and I'm always shocked how many of them have subject lines like 5 tools for X or 6 apps for Y, 3 ways to solve this problem. It's just lists of value, of helpful tips, of steps to solve problems. And frankly, they are everywhere today. There's really nothing rare about a list of value. And I'm not saying that the lists are bad. They can be valuable ideas and solutions. But the thing is, most of us, when we're checking our email, we're not actively invested in solving a problem. So I'm not really caring about the solution that's being kind of thrown at me. If you want to get your message out and you want to help people, you have to find a way to not get archived and to not just get scrolled past and ignored. So when we ask ourselves the question, how do we make free value actually valuable again? One way to do it is you find a way to hook me with emotion, you find a way to raise the stakes, and you can do both of those things with a story. You can provide a really interesting context so that I care about the value that you're about to share with me. If you get me engaged in your story, and then as a result of the story you tell, we learn some things, or you learn some valuable lessons from that story, and that's kind of how you segue into the actual value, that is way more captivating than just a list. I will also add that sometimes the story alone provides the value. If you tell me a story that makes me laugh or gets me to feel inspired or motivated or just, less alone, to me, that is value too. And in a world where ChatGPT is very good at writing a list of solutions, and we're we're all just watching videos on 1.75 speed just to hear the idea and then get the hell out of there. Sometimes a heartfelt, connected message coming from an actual human, that can feel extremely valuable and rare. Okay, reason 5. We don't learn through words, we learn through experience. You can tell someone the right thing to do, but words don't really teach, experience does. Now, stories are interesting because, of course, we tell a story with words, but when you're a reader, we end up feeling as if we actually lived the experience, and as a result, our brain feels the emotions and remembers the story as if we had experienced it personally. I, for one, have been known to listen to the podcast This American Life on a plane, and it's always a mistake because it's always a sad story, and then I start bawling on the plane. Why am I crying while I'm listening to someone else's experience? Why do any of us cry when we listen or read something really intense and personal and emotional? It's because through a story, I am now experiencing what the character is experiencing. My brain is not able to separate my life from the story that I'm focused on. And as a result, I become a complete hot mess, sobbing into the window. I mean, it's really silly, but everyone can relate to that. Everyone's had a movie or a book or something where you just lose yourself and you kind of forget about your life because your whole mind and body are in that story and you are one with that character. So how is that valuable for your business? If you have an ideal customer who isn't buying from you, they likely have some kind of a limiting belief stopping them from trusting you, from believing this will work for them, from thinking that they can get the solution they're dreaming of. If you're trying to shift limiting beliefs or shift someone into thinking that your service will help them, don't just tell them that. Illustrate it through a story. Because again, words don't teach, experience does. And a story is how you can have someone experience something that they have not lived through. And the final one, reason number 6, and I leave the best for last, the most relevant for 2024 for last. Did you know that AI is predicted to be writing 90% of online content by 2025? And I'm gonna say that again for the person who's half listening. AI is predicted to write 90% of online content by next year. When I hear something crazy and slightly alarming like that, like that fun fact, I like to ask myself, what do I anticipate the impact of that to be on online marketing? Well, most of us are already having a full-blown conniption when we have to yell, representative, at the robot on the phone. So let's imagine a world where most emails, most blogs, most captions, most lists, anything that you see online, it was written by AI. What I anticipate happening is that trust among consumers it's gonna plummet. It's already kind of low, and I think it's going to get lower. And then I think the opposite side of that, I think the desire for human-to-human connection, I think that desire is going to soar. I believe a personal story, one that's full of personality and humor and deep thoughts and genuine reflections, that kind of a story is going to feel so rare. And what is rare will get read. And more importantly, what is rare will be valued. I see storytelling as this magical tool to prove AI didn't write this. This is, there's a real person with real thoughts and experiences behind these words, and maybe more importantly, behind this business. So if you buy from me, our relationship, our connection is going to be a part of your experience every step of the way. I think that's what people will be looking for as AI begins to play a larger and larger role in online marketing, and specifically as people become more aware that it's playing a larger and larger role, because it's already doing that now. But I do think we still live in this in-between where it feels still like a person wrote it, or, oh, probably that's written by this person or this account, but I think our understanding that that is not the case will become very clear very soon. So those are the 6 reasons why I think storytelling is the skill you really want to go all in on in 2024, especially as an entrepreneur. Some of you might be worried, well, I don't know how, I'm not good at telling stories. Aha, not to fear. Because the great news is you don't need to be an amazing storyteller to tell a great story. You just need to know how to tell a great story. You don't need to be Julia Child to cook a great meal. You just need to be able to buy her cookbook and follow the steps. And to me, storytelling is the same. You don't need to be naturally gifted. You just need to know what information should go in a story and where should it go to get the correct emotional response. If you're able to follow those steps, you can craft a captivating story. If you're interested in learning how to actually tell a great story, there's a link in my bio for a free template. It's a storytelling Mad Libs for Entrepreneurs. It's basically the foundation of what information you need and where you want to place it to tell a great story in your business. And separately, if this was interesting to you and you want to understand the impact that stories are actually having on our brain, why you can have like a favorite movie and then other movies that you paid for, you walk out of the theater halfway through. If you want to know like what's happening in our brain when you hear a great story versus a bad one, then check out the next video where I break down what actually happens in our brain when you hear a great story and how you can use that to write better stories in your marketing. Well. You know, we've come to the end of the video, and I think it's safe to assume that everyone has been convinced of the power of stories. But for those stubborn haters out there who are not convinced, here's what I'll say. The first person to like and subscribe and comment below, #GimmeDatDog. You get the dog. I will warn though, she's incredibly needy. I mean, do you have the time? Do you have the time to invest in her emotional needs? Okay, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you download the guide below, and I'll see you in the next video.